we do have a little bit of new reporting this morning. Let's go ahead and move on to this next part. So today, there was a lot of anticipation for what Putin and the Kremlin would do. It was Victory Day.
Yes.
Traditionally, you know, military
It's a big day in Russia.
Big day in Russia, celebration of their victory over the Nazis, marches in the street, all that sort of stuff. And there was a particularly ominous sign that this event could be used to potentially announce a larger escalation or a larger civilian mobilization, so adding more soldiers into the fight. Let's go ahead and put this piece up on the screen from Reuters. The plan was for Putin to send what they describe as a doomsday warning by flying their doomsday plane roaming command center, which is designed to basically be the sort of like, you know, mobile command center in the event of nuclear war. So what they say here is celebrations on Monday marking the 77th anniversary of the Soviet Union's victory over Nazi Germany. They were going to have this flyover, including that doomsday command plane, which would carry Russia's top brass, including Putin, in the event of a nuclear war. And it is packed with technology, but specific details are Russian state secrets. So there was, let's go ahead and put the New York Times tear sheet as well. They had a long article about the concerns from the West of what these parades and what these celebrations could be used to justify. They say it's a potent political strategy in a country that celebrates May 9th, Victory Day, as its most important secular holiday, one that appeals to the shared sacrifice of 27 billion Soviets killed in World War II. What they said is that Mr. Putin is expected to give a major speech at the Grand Military Parade on Red Square on Monday, with some analysts and Western officials anticipating he might officially declare war or call for a mass mobilization of the Russian public. On Sunday, the Kremlin said that Mr. Putin had sent a congratulatory telegram to the heads of the Russian-backed separatists in eastern Ukraine. He declared Russians were, quote, fighting shoulder to shoulder to liberate their homeland from Nazi filth, and vowed that victory will be ours like in 1945. However, I talked to our friend Yegor this morning and got the report from the ground. Not only did they not fly the Doomsday plane, but in most of the major cities, actually the entire sort of air show was grounded.
Yeah.
So they grounded the Doomsday plane and all the rest of the, you know, fighter jets and whatever else they were planning.
Yeah.
And in the speech, Yegor described it as sort of like typical propaganda for Putin. No
I was
expansion,
about to read the translation.
Yeah, what you got for us?
No declaration of war, victory, or a general mobilization. And so the rough guide per this outline was that there was a degradation of Western morality, that NATO was going to attack us, but that Kiev was going to get nuclear weapons. We are fighting the Nazis. The Donbass is Russian. It's a continuation of the Great Patriotic War. Here's a military parade, and then that's pretty much it.
So
no grand declaration.
And that language is nothing new from Putin.
Not new whatsoever. So I was afraid, I mean, many people were, that this was going to be, you know, some sort of escalation. I think it just shows you Russia is dramatically backed into a corner. They really don't have a lot more resources they can come to bear. And for all of the talk of the Russian population being on Putin's side, I don't think a lot of them are ready for a full-scale war, or for the civilian population to suffer even more so than they already have. So you put that together, and this could be seen as, I would say on balance, a probably best outcome for those who don't want to see an escalation in the East or in the war in general. It means that they'll be committed to the short-term possibility, I mean, to the current possibility. Now, that's not all to say a great thing. That still means that we will have probably a hot grade, you know, mid-grade war happening in eastern Ukraine for a decade now, probably plus. So it's not like people aren't going to die, and this still won't be a significant conflict. But the days of wanting to conquer Kyiv are probably over.
Yeah.
You know, the days of, now I'm not saying they can't do it. I'm saying within the current political possibility. Of course, if they want to mobilize their entire army, they could probably take it tomorrow, but you know, it would take a tremendous loss of life. So politically, it seems that they have reached the exhaustive phase. That's probably a good thing, you know, if you don't want to see even more escalate. The fact that they didn't fly the plane either is good, but I should note they did have the ICBMs in the parade, but they always do that you know, for their thing. So
it is interesting too why they ground not just that plane, but they didn't do the air show altogether. So again, according to Yegor, they claimed that it was bad weather, but he said it was sunny. It was a perfect day, so it didn't make any sense. Possibly, you know, there's fears that the Air Force has not been doing their job. Who knows what's going on with them? But I mean, that is noteworthy that they just grounded the whole thing. It's also noteworthy. There's reports from the BBC that there have been a number of military registration and enlistment offices that have been set on fire by anti-war activists.
There you go.
So you have, we've seen certainly some peaceful protests in the street, and very hard to tell overall what public sentiment is in Russia. But you have some significant civil disobedience here and just outright disobedience here in terms of pushing back on the war effort. So seem to be some signs that the politics are tricky and complicated and not straightforward for Putin at this point.
No, I think that's probably the best way to put it. And that the culmination of the parade that way is overall is a definitely good on balance.
Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.